this is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this podcast series is called Spiritual Immersion, Taking the Plunge. And the intention of this series is to focus on both the incremental steps, the tiptoeing into this process, and the importance of that incremental immersion process, slowly penetrating, slowly entering into yourself, into your spirit self, into your relationship with yourself and the world. And then at some point it feels like at the same time, it feels like you're plunging into something deeper where you have no capacity to go. And rarely is that, what I want to do is bring to you that place of both and. Like there will be times where you feel like you're plummeting into the deepest depths and you'll never be able to get up and take a breath. And at the same time, other times there's just like, oh, this is easy. I'm on the path. It's all good. It's going to go fast and I'm going to get where I want to go. And it's both. Sometimes there's the tremendous plunge in a sense, or fall, or, push into something that takes you beyond your imagination of what you're capable of. A lot of people who have accidents and fall and break their bones or break their back or have incredible accidents, or people who go through incredible diseases, bring themselves to full healing, which is, and from scientific perspective, it's like it's a miracle. But truly, you're healing yourself because you needed to go into the depths of what was so that you can become who you are now. So that's just a really important part of this process is like, yeah, some of you and sometimes me, we're thrown into the depths of despair of like, I can't function. I can't do this. This is too big. People who lose loved ones and children, or lose the opportunity. Perhaps there's people who would love to have children and they won't have children. They can't have children. And the despair of those moments, and you go, we can't live with that. But somehow you find the courage to go forward. You find the courage to be on your path and create your path so that you're unfolding into your greatest opportunities, your greatest self. And I know I'm saying this as an experiencer. When you're in that, you go, F that shit. I have no interest in bettering myself. I just don't want to have to go through this, and I don't want the loss, and I want my body back. I want my children back. I want my life back the way it was. And so we function within that. So each of these, from my perspective, is an opportunity to say, okay, this is what is. There's no hope that things will shift around. And in a sense, quite often, and I've talked about this before and I'll talk about it again, when we live in hope, we miss the opportunity to be here now in this present moment and heal ourselves in this moment and be with what is in this moment. I've been spending quite a bit of time with some people, and they are constantly telling stories of the past, constantly telling us stories of the past. And it's like, wow, there's really little opportunity for them to experience what's here now in this moment when they are so entrenched in the stories of the past. We were, and I live on Orcas Island, and we were over on Shaw Island and visited a friend, and she took us to this beach, and they actually have a sandy beach here on Orcas. We only pretty much have stony beaches, pebble beaches. And I just wanted to be in the moment with this beach and this experience here now. And my friends were like, oh, this reminds me of that beach, and this reminds me of that beach, and it reminds me of this story and that story. And it's like, wow, it made me aware of how much I used to do that. I couldn't be present in this moment, having this experience. I was constantly reliving the past, which is what most of us do, because that's what we do. And when we can begin to train ourselves to do something different and go, wow, that's interesting practice. I want to see what it's like to practice being here now. Now this is my more normal place to be, is in this moment. I used to also be a futurizer. I would also be futurizing in a sense, like daydreaming, if you will, about the future and how it should be, and about my house and about my clients and about my success and about my wealth and all of these things. And I was so in the future, again, I couldn't be here now in this present moment. So these are some of the elements of the practice of just being here with what is, regardless of what is. In a sense, we think of if I'm sad, then there's something wrong, and if I'm happy, there's something right. So as opposed to, no, I'm actually sad, and it's part of being human. It's part of my humanness. Or I'm happiness, and it's like, yay, I'm finally happy. It's like, yeah, and that's part of my humanness, without attachment. And that's really, really hard for a lot of people. It's hard for me. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was that part of my practice is, and I've mentioned this to you before, that I read a book called Oneness, and it's transcribed by a woman named Rasha. And I've been working with this book for probably close to 15 years. It's about a 400-page book. And I've read it front to back twice, and I use my pendulum to dowse. Generally what I do in the morning, I'll sit with my tea, my coffee, whatever I'm having, sit quietly and clear myself, and then I use my pendulum to say, what page should I read today? And my pendulum is really, I've got a great relationship with this little pendulum. Sometimes I use muscle testing, but say, what is it that you want me to read? And it'll point me to a particular page that I have there's something there for me to look at. And I've been doing this for a long time. And the interesting thing is that when I come back to those pages and I go, oh, I know what's on that page. Why would I need to read that again? I've read it 40 times. And it's like, this is a different moment. This is a different time. This is a different opportunity to see something that's happening for me that I'm not attending to, or that I need to attend to, or I need to look at differently. So because I'm working on my not food issues, but I have some sensitivities, and I've been ignoring them, as many of us do. I don't want to give up wheat and sugar and coffee and milk and cheese and chocolate. I don't want to give those things up, and alcohol. But if I don't, I've got these itchies, and I get the spinnies like vertigo, and these are fun things I don't want to live in. I don't want to be in that. And sometimes bloating or indigestion or, inflammation in my joints. Don't want to live like that. So my intention is to choose to live in a different possibility, which is to be free of all of those symptoms. And, science says it's possible, and spirit says it's possible. So that's where I'm going. I'm headed in that direction. Am I going willingly? It's like, hell no. I keep looking for opportunities to say, well, we'll use the short term to cheat. I'm looking for opportunities to go, well, maybe I could have a little of this, or maybe I could have a little bit of that. So the point is that when I'm dowsing what to read or where to look for information, it's what's brought to me, generally speaking, is the clarity of what I need to attend to. And you can read books over and over again, or passages in the Bible, or passages in Course in Miracles, or passages in whatever it is that you're reading. And if you're present in this moment, you're reading it for the very first time in a way that you've never read it before. And to be present to that is a huge intention. And to be that cultivating the ability to know what your intentions are with greater and greater clarity allows you to be in this process much more effortlessly. So much of what we're about as human beings is resistance to something new, resistance to the uncertainty, resistance to what we don't know. And the patterning of our consensus view of reality doesn't allow this more expanded sense of self, even though the talk is there, talk the talk. Oh yeah, better yourself, be more expansive, be the spiritual human balance. And yet most of it is like, yeah, but be afraid of this, or don't do this, or there's the hesitancy. Don't go too far, don't go too fast, don't. It's like all that don't do's is fear-based. And so we're given, in a sense, permission to say, hey, yeah, check this out. And this self-help book is all about expansion. But there's a great deal of our energy and our collective consciousness and our consensus review of reality to say, oh, don't go too far, don't go too fast, don't go there. And so you have to monitor that for yourself, because that's where the monitor lives. In a sense, I go, oh, I can't do that. Especially, I love food, and I love sharing food with friends. And if they're inviting me over, I want to eat what they're eating. So I have to look at my intention. What's my intention, my deepest intention here in relation to food? Now, I've read a particular chapter over and again based on other elements, like what's my intention in terms of my relationship with friends, or my intention with my relationship with my daughter, or my property, or my dog, or my work, or my money, or my clients. Like all of these different aspects, all these different contexts, and how I am in each one is unique if I stay in this moment. And so I offer that to you as listening for the greatest, deepest, purest intention of what you're doing within each context, and utilizing the practice of, a lot of people will just take a book and they'll open it up to a page and they'll read it. That's awesome, because they're listening for what's here for me today. And when we stay here in the today, we have so much more potential to discover and explore ways of being that are just a little bit expand us, but we can do it more effortlessly because we feel the support of the universe. Hopefully you feel the support of these podcasts and other people who are supporting you in, seen and unseen. So that's pretty much it. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. But my attention again is that listening to what's showing up today, and you can say, oh, I know that. I've been there. I've already done that. I've already read that. I don't need to read it again. Think again. Think again. And come back and go, okay, if this is coming up for me today, it must be something I need to look at and pay attention to. All right. I'm sending you big hugs. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at rosie@theparadigmshifts.com. I am a life and spiritual coach and teacher and facilitator of lots of things. So feel free to look at my website and see if there's anything there that is of interest, blogs, videos, books that I've written. And that website is theparadigmshifts.com. All right, big hugs to you. Bye for now.